Most schools are back in session, so it is time to take advantage of those back to sale prices on school supplies. Whether or not you have kids in school, it is a great deal to go out and get those prices now. So you might do a price comparison between like the Dollar Tree and other stores that are having sales, like Fred Meyer's and Target and Walmart, and go through and do a price comparison and see, is the price actually better? Some of them are, and some of them aren't. So I did a little bit of the math and the logistics about, which items should I get. And you know what? It's not a bad idea to get a few items for next school year. That is perfectly fine. It's the same strategy I use at during the holidays, which is after the holidays are over, you get all those great deals. Well, just before school starts, you get all those great deals. Hold on to them till when you need them. Even if you don't need it right now, when the kids are halfway through the school year, they're going to need stuff and they're going to run out. So it is an excellent idea to take advantage of those prices while they are available. And you're not going to find all of the great prices at one store or the other. If you only want to go to one place, I probably still go to the Dollar Tree just because you consistently get really good deals there. However, if you happen to be somewhere else, you're out and about and you see one of the end caps having things on sale, it is often a better deal to grab some of those sale items. Not always. If you're kind of paying attention to my screen, I'm putting those little blue check marks. Sometimes the prices are so similar that it's worth a little bit more to get the name brand because of the quality. So that's up to you though. There are really good deals out there. Even if you want to shop with a friend, maybe there's a packet of highlighters and there's 10 for $1.25. Split them with a friend. Now you spent 70 something cents or 60 something cents, and you've saved yourself some money as well. So I think it's a great strategy to shop with a friend. If if you have children or something and you want to save even more, because a lot of the materials come in several to a pack, and so you can make your savings even greater. It's a really excellent deal. So 39 cents for like a actual spiral notebook is fabulous. So I would buy those just to have them handy. They used to be 4 for $1 back in the day. I remember a few times I got them from Shopco for like 10 for $1. But that was years ago. So you're not going to see those kinds of deals anymore. Um, I've seen notebooks just like these at yard sales for $1. So, and the pages are all yellowed and used and stuff. So 39 cents, if you can buy almost 3 of these for $1, it's absolutely hands down one of the best deals that you can find is on the notebooks, because you're definitely going to use them. Your children often are going to have science journals, they're going to have to take notes in their social studies classes. They're going to have homework assignments, and this is just super handy. So I did grab a few of those. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to pop onto some of the online stores as well, such as, oh, by the way, those are a great deal. The Twistables, $2. They have them at the Dollar Tree, but they're not $1 at the Dollar Tree. They're like $3. So the 10 crayon Twistables for $2 is an absolute fabulous deal. If you see that deal at Fred Meyer's, pick them up because that is great. They have a lot of things that were not on my children's list. However, I did grab the materials that I needed. I didn't go super crazy, but on the things that were ridiculously priced, like $1 or 50 cents, or some of the things were literally 25 cents. So $1 for name brand markers is a really excellent deal. As a teacher, I prefer the colored pencils because the markers dry out so fast. I mean, the first month of school, everyone has beautiful posters and stuff like that. And the second month of school, all like half the markers are dry. So colored pencils definitely last longer. And so that's what I started telling my students to go for but I said, whatever you want. Those pencils there for 30 cents were actually at Walgreens. I just happened to see that. There's some items like these, like really cute boards that you can write on the whiteboards. $5 at Dollar Tree. I did grab a couple of those for my household. Hello, friends. So let's go ahead and pop on over to Walmart. And I wanted to show you really fast in case you missed some of those in store sales, or you don't have a vehicle, or you're tired like I am. Um, and sometimes you happen upon a few good deals, like maybe the glue sticks are a good deal, or the rulers are a good deal, or the notebooks are a good deal, but not necessarily everything in the store at that one store is a good deal. So like when I did my son's school supply shopping, and I'm a teacher, so I kind of know where to go. Um, I went to Fred Meyer's, I went to Target, and I went to the Dollar Tree. And then whatever I was missing, I went online and I looked at Amazon. I have an Amazon Prime account and I did not find great deals for the items that I was looking for. I popped onto Walmart.com and I found them. So this is my recommendation. Pop onto Walmart and then type in the search bar school supplies under $1. And then you will find things like 50 cents for crayons, 50 cents for school glue. These ones that are actually purple are nice because a lot of kids use way too much glue, but when it's purple, it starts off purple and then it dries clear. So this is really handy because they end up using less because they can see it. So it's just like human nature. If you can't see it, you just use a bunch more. So this actually makes it last longer. So basically, it's 25 cents for a stick of glue, and it works a lot better than the stuff from the Dollar Tree. I do buy that dot brand, but whenever I use them, I use gobs and gobs and gobs of the glue. It works, but if they put the same amount of Elmer's versus that brand, the off brand does not stick the same. You end up having to use more of it, but you get like 8 or 10 of those for $1. So it might be a better deal, but I do think that for 50 cents, the Elmer's is a better deal. You also have here, you have 12 pencils for literally 47 cents. That's crazy. You can get markers for $1. I think I saw them an off-brand version down here for 50 cents. There's colored pencils. I'm a middle school teacher and I highly recommend colored pencils. Most high school teachers would go for colored pencils as well. Elementary school and maybe 6th grade teachers are going to say markers. I don't care. I will tell my families, I don't care if it's crayons, markers, or colored pencils. The colored pencils just happen to last longer. Um, they last a lot longer. So they might make it all the way through the school year with those, whereas the markers, they leave the cap off of one of them and it's totally dried out. And after they're trying to do a poster or something, they will use one marker on a poster and that marker will be done by the end of that one assignment. So if you get colored pencils, they do last a lot longer. If you have a ridiculous list from the teachers at your school and it's just really, really expensive, ask them what your child actually really needs for school, because some of the materials are not going to be used, and that's the truth. I had some parents come through during like an open house at my school, and they asked me that question, and I said that's a fair question. And they said last year they bought a bunch of stuff, over $100 worth of materials, and I believe it, and over half the stuff was never used. So I tell my families, for my science class, I want them to get the cheapest notebook they can find. I don't care if it's a composition book or if it's a spiral notebook. Either way is fine. This one here is 35 cents. I tell them they need something to color with. I prefer colored pencils because they last longer. And they need glue. So this is 50 cents plus 35 cents. They need pencils. That's 47 cents. A pencil sharpener, 47 cents. They're going to need scissors. This one's 92 cents. And they are going to need maybe pens. That's 97 cents. Now, a lot of these things would stretch because that's like you're getting 10, right? So they have plenty for the whole school year. I don't tell them that they have to have sticky notes, but they're kind of nice. These are only 67 cents. If they wanted to get markers, these down here again, These are 74, but I did see some right here for 50 cents. They don't need to have a folder for my class, but there's one here for 25 cents. If they wanted to like collect all the papers I hand out to them, like study guides and stuff, they could grab those. Um, these little notebooks here are 37 cents. That's a great deal. I haven't seen that deal in a long, long time. Scroll down here a little further. Look, 92 cents for little pink scissors. Cute. Um, and I mean, there's more pages. So go ahead and click on the next page. And it's not just for school supplies. You can get this for a home office or whatever, like if you write letters, whatever. Permanent markers, 97 cents. It's not my school supply list, but that's kind of nice for labeling things. This one here, you have the 3-pronged 2-pocket poly folder. That was on my son's list, and I needed 5 of them for one class. Now, when the kids, I keep saying teachers, when the parents came through my class, they're asking me that question, are they really going to need all these things? I'm like, yeah, my students need a spiral notebook, pencils, color pencils, a glue stick, and that's those kind of basic things. But they can use those things in every other class too. You don't need it for every single class. They just need to like get 1 pack of pens, 1 pack of crayons. And yeah, so this page 1 seemed to have most of the things I would be looking for. Great deals here. 50 cents for crayons. They're name brand Crayola. Some of the off-brand are kind of waxy with very little color. Crayola is going to be nice. I've even seen people make Crayola lipstick. Like they melt it and they add it to different things. So that's as far as safety. Crayola is like safer. You don't know necessarily what you're getting when you buy things that are off-brand exactly. But, for the money, I'm looking here. Everything looks as good or better than the deals I saw in the stores. So if you have a Walmart account with the free shipping and stuff, I would highly recommend going through here. I actually went online, and because sometimes in the stores they'll have a limit on how many things you can get. So I went online and I bought some of these notebooks because I know I use them every year, and every year they go up in price. And, if I have a student who really needs one and doesn't have money, then I have one. So it's no big deal. And usually somebody will spring it on me and say, Mom, I really need a notebook. And I will have a few tucked away. I actually keep a little clear tote full of school supplies for my kids at home. And that way, if they forget stuff at school, whatever, and they have a homework assignment that needs coloring materials or whatever, then I have it. It's just a little catch-all for all the school stuff. Also, a lot of the schools will say a certain kind of calculator. When you're in high school, you're going to need a special calculator. But a basic multifunctional kind of calculator that costs $5 usually will do the trick. Most of the time, students will be using the functions that are on like a Dollar Tree calculator. So most of the time that's sufficient, but sometimes they're going to need to do like a square root or things like that. And in that case, you're going to want a scientific calculator, but, get the cheapest one you can find. And you know what? Let me give you one more tip before I say goodbye. You can use last year's school supplies this year. I'll say that again. There's no reason why you can't use the same scissors, the same ruler, the same calculator, the same binder, the same backpack. As long as they're not broken, use them again. You do not have to buy a brand new backpack and a brand new calculator and a brand new binder every single year. You don't. All right, everybody. Be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I will see you next time.